These are the Garfunkels. They just tied the knot and are looking for the perfect home. Before now, the Garfunkels had only lived with their parents, survived dorm life for 4 years, and leased a one-bedroom dump from that shifty landlord. Now that they've found their dream home, they suddenly realize that this whole home buying process is more complicated than they thought. Credit reports, mortgages, agents, lawyers, insurance, inspections, titles, HOAs. That's a lot of transactions. Too many for them to keep up with by themselves. It's enough to make you want to go back to the days of bartering goods and services. But the problem with that is there's no safeguards to ensure that everyone keeps to their agreements. Well, that's where escrow comes in. What is escrow, you ask? Escrow is like the hub of a wheel that brings all the parties together in a transaction. It's a neutral third party which holds all the money, titles, personal property, or anything of value until all transactions are successfully completed. This process lowers the potential risk of fraud and helps you to stay up to date with all parties and transactions. So it works like this. When you want to buy a home, your agent and the seller's agent agree on an offer. Once you're both satisfied, escrow is opened. Now this means that an escrow company receives all of the necessary information regarding your transaction. Make sure that all the instructions are followed and all funds, bills, documents are handled properly during the transaction. And then finally, they ensure that the closing of the escrow goes as smoothly as possible. So instead of trying to keep up with all the payments, papers, and parties by yourself, the escrow company is there to make the whole process easier for both you and the seller. Plus, with the advent of the internet, the escrow process has become virtually paperless. Okay, so back to the Garfunkels. It's time for them to buy that new home, and now that they know a little bit more about escrow, they can feel relieved that they'll finally have a place that they can call their own. Now, if they could only find a mediator between them and their new neighbors.